Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It is April 6th, 2024. Looking at scattered snow showers for the next couple of days as we have a series of upper level trough that's just going to bring in some waves of moisture. Highs are going to be in the lower 40s for both days for the weekend. Winds will be kind of increasing today out of the northwest with some gusts up to 30 in the high mountains. And looking ahead, we can see an area of high pressure building for Monday, and that's going to last throughout the week. So it's going to be pretty pleasant temperatures each day. It's going to rise about 5 degrees till it's about in the mid 60s by Friday. So we'll be back in that warm temperature. All right, let's take a look at the last 24 hours. So it's crazy how much a little temperature change will really matter with the snow totals. We wasn't really expecting any snow to stick to the ground till pretty much overnight last night, but it kept around freezing all day here yesterday, which was about 10 degrees cooler than what they were expecting, and that can really make the difference between snow and rain. So we picked up about 2 inches here in Haley, probably a little bit more than that. The sun kind of came through in the afternoon, melted some of that snow, but either way, it was pretty high density. Baldy looked like it picked up about 5 inches yesterday. I saw the storm board had about 3 inches on it yesterday afternoon and a couple inches overnight. In town in Ketchum, looks like it's hard to see on the webcam because they have all the equipment on it. I'll show you that in a second. But it looked like about an inch of snow there. Lower Titus was reporting about 5 inches. And then Moores Creek, probably the winter yesterday, was 7 inches of snow, and similar Swee. So temperatures definitely cooled off, and the Swee is looking better for winter light snow. All right, and then because we had such a nice spring storm, I just kind of wanted to highlight the storm totals for all the stations. So the big winner for water was Moores Creek, which got a lot of rain that first day. That's why it doesn't have as much snow. It's lower elevation there. And then Lower Titus and Vienna won for the overall snow, picking up about 1.5 feet of snow. Expect to see maybe even a little bit more as you gain elevation, maybe pushing 2 feet there. So quite a big spring storm with about the same amount, a little higher water quantity than they were expecting. I was seeing 1.3 to maybe an inch and 3/4, and we kind of toppled that. So that's cool to see. Definitely need that SWE. All right, looking around at temperatures this morning, much colder. We're in the 20s in the valley floor, and some of the weather stations up high, like Titus and Baldy, are in the low teens, 10 degrees to 12 degrees. All right, looking at our satellite reel here, that low pressure is kind of pushing out of the way. We do have, let me try to highlight it here. Do have like a low right here, and then a departing low over here. So we're pretty much just gonna we have this big trough going on here, and just some waves in between that for today. Let's look at the HRRR model and see how much snow we're going to be getting. All right, so fast forward this to right now. You can see a lot lighter precip. Got bluer, light blue colors, not really showing much until this afternoon when it looks like the Pioneers, Wood River Valley, of course up in Stanley is getting snow most of the day, but lighter precip, where we can have that higher amounts. But most of that system's over to our east. And then as we shift into tomorrow, really looking like not much is going to happen until later in the day when it comes in from the northwest. And you can see this kind of steady band from northwest to southeast coming right over the valley floors. Looks like a couple of yellow specks down here. I wasn't really seeing any Cape values for thunder or lightning, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear a couple rumbles tomorrow afternoon. But pretty low chance with that, probably less than 10%. Looking at snow amounts breaking down by the day, the sawtooths are going to get the bulk of the moisture, and then that's that later band kind of coming through the white clouds into Hyman, but it looks like we're going to have snow in the valley floor today. Tonight, not too much snow, pretty much less than an inch across the area. And then tomorrow, 1 to 2 inches, mostly in that eastern band, which is a little surprising. I feel like we'd get a little bit more out of that. But temperatures do look like it's going to be cold enough for snow in the valley floor, especially given how wrong they were the other day, the models. And then a little bit of snow Sunday night, and then we're pretty much out of the systems until the following weekend. Just wanted to show you some temperature trends. So today and tomorrow are going to be the coldest days for the weekend, and then each day we're going to bump up until we get back to where we were before, when it was really feeling like spring, and we'll be in the mid 60s by Friday. And then pretty big unknown for the weekends. You can see some temperatures maybe be pushing the 70s, but we're like in between 60 to 70 degrees for the highs for down in the valley, and that's pretty big spread. So we'll see what happens as we get closer for that. All right, looking at the 500 millibar chart, this is for the euro. Put this thing in motion, just back it up. Okay, so you can see that area of low pressure over in between Idaho and Nevada right now. That's going to drop down to the east and kind of accelerate over there. They've been kind of getting hit pretty well by storms, and that's going to open us up to this big trough and high pressure building in. We do have this little northwest flow here, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any moisture attached to it. We're kind of just on the southern end of that boundary for Tuesday, Wednesday. Might be just kind of clouds for that time period, not our typical bluebird days. But then it builds in for Thursday and Friday with high pressure ridging before this next trough system comes through on Friday, and the models do have some disagreement with that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Looking at the GFS, bring this back to the start. This is looking a little different than Euro. It does start out the same way, where we have that big trough to the south, and that's going to act like high pressure, and then that northwest flow comes in Tuesday. It's a little bit covering more of the state, so we might be seeing more cloud coverage with that, but it doesn't seem like any precip is going to be involved with that. And then the ridge looks like more of a dominant ridge with the Euro for Friday before that trough comes through Saturday. So we'll see what happens with that. What else did I want to show you? I think I wanted to end with some models. So our long-term forecast for the next month is looking like above normal for temperatures, unfortunately. 6 to 10 days, that's April 11th to the 15th, is looking like below chances. And our better chances is probably this time period here for the 13th to the 19th, where we have near normal conditions. So in April, we can get hit with some not like huge storms. I mean, we can, but typically we're looking at smaller storms, like half the amount of what we just got, maybe even a quarter of that. And then 3 to 4 weeks out, we're kind of equal chances. That's looking all the way into May. So it's not over yet. There still could be a couple of storms. This was kind of a sleeper storm for sure. It overproduced what the models were saying, and springtime's kind of hit or miss with what the models are going to show. All right, I think that's kind of what I wanted to show. We got the fire going at Baldy. Nice sunrise coming up there. And I will check in with you all in about a week. Next Friday, I'll be down at Red Rock guiding for the community school, so I'll be out of service, out of touch. But luckily, it's going to be high and dry for a while, so not going to really need me. All right, have a good week out there.